I know he served a purpose, and when his purpose was done being served, he should have walked out of those books. He should have walked out of New Moon, and we should have never seen him again. I cannot. When I tell y'all, my parents do not have inner voices, and oh my gosh, my dad just got back after being locked in Nigeria because of the COVID lockdown, and they are gisting like they ain't never seen each other before, and they just don't have inner voices. So if y'all hear them in the background, my apologies, but Nigerian parents are something else. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. I am CHIOMA, aka Chi, and today I'm going to be doing a tag that I've been seeing all over booktube, and that is the unpopular opinions tag. I have a lot of unpopular opinions about books. I don't know why I'm the minority in more ways than one in this, but I have a lot of unpopular opinions about my favorite types of books, my favorite genres, my favorite tropes, all these things. So I want to do this tag because it sounds like all the fun, you know, and I love talking about, you know, things that I love and things that I don't love, you know, equally the same, honestly. So let's get into some of my unpopular opinions. The first question is a popular book series that you did not like. Listen, the amount of bookshelf tours, the amount of kind of like bookshelf collections, the amount of favorites, the amount of recommendation books, videos that I've seen where people say this is their favorite series is absolutely ridiculous. Popular book series that I did not like is the Shatter Me series. The series was not good. That series was not good. I tried. I swear I tried my hardest, but the fact that people love it, I'm like, we must have been reading two different versions in two different languages written by two different authors. We kind of have been reading the same series for people who absolutely adore this series. Like my favorite booktubers adore this series, and I was like, I could not. After that first book, I tried to read the second book. I put in my best attempt. I could not do it. So the Shatter Me series is a popular book series that I don't like, I did not like, and I will not be giving a second chance for anything under $1 million for me to reread that series. The second book is a popular book series that everyone else seems to hate but you love. I'm gonna have to give that up to the Air Awaken series. The first book is called Air Awaken by Elise Kova. I've seen two of my favorite booktubers say that they cannot stand the first book or the second book, and I'm like, where? What did this book do wrong? Enemies to lovers, we got fantasy, we got great world building, we got Avatar-esque like elemental, like airbenders, firebenders, waterbenders, we got all of that. What was there not to like? What was there not to like? We got a war? I don't get, what is there not to like? The series is doing everything for me. I'm on the third or fourth book right now, and I'm eating it up. I love it. I adore it. I don't know why anyone would want it because it's a great series. Like, take my word for it. It's definitely worth the read. It's definitely worth everything. I love this series. The third book is a love triangle where the main character ended up with someone that you didn't want them to end up with, and that is Vampire Academy. See, this love triangle hurt me so much that I had to stop reading the series after the girl started saying that she was about to stray. She was going to stray, because I know in modern times Vampire Academy probably has not aged as well as other books, and you know, I know the initial pairing is a bit problematic. You know, I'm gonna put that disclaimer out there, but they should have ended up together. They should have ended up together, and because they didn't, I had to stop. I think there's 5 books in the series. I had to stop at 4 or something because the first pairing was meant to be, baby. That was how it was meant to be, and for her to stray and think that she was making the better decision, and for the author to write that broke my heart so much that I could not. I stopped reading the book right there because no. I think the main character's name is Rose. I haven't read this series in so long. I think the main character's name is Rose, and I think the main guy's name is Dimitri. They should have ended up together. Rose and Dimitri should have ended up together, and the fact that they didn't hurt my heart, hurt my soul, and honestly is probably the reason that love triangles don't do it for me till this day. Number 4 is a popular book genre that you hardly reach for. Historical. First of all, historical. The last historical book I read was A Great and Terrible Beauty. I think it's called, by Libba Bray. Like back in the day, like this was the series back when I was in like early high school. That was the last historical I read. It wasn't enough for me to want to continue the series, and it wasn't enough for me to ever pick up another historical since then. It can be a historical kind of fantasy where, you know, like in a lot of fantasies, the world building involves kind of them speaking in olden times and it being kind of like a more more less technologically like savvy environment or world, I can do that. But if it's just like a contemporary, we're in Victorian times, we're in the 20s, we're in the 30s, we're in anywhere but modern times or the future, I don't. Number 2, I'd say is less so much, but contemporary. I don't read a lot of contemporary. If it's a contemporary, the most contemporary I'd have to read is like a mystery, but I don't think you can categorize as contemporary. I don't read a lot of contemporary. Things that involved modern times and modern day without any extra elements to it and without the story being something else. The only thing I'd probably read contemporary is a contemporary romance, but other than that, like a coming of age, no. Contemporary mysteries and things like that I will read, but not as much. The 5th one is a popular or beloved character that you did not like. I honestly cannot for the life of me think of one. I'd say my least favorite book character that I think people still like. I don't even know if people really like this character because I'm not in the discourse anymore, but Jacob Black. I'm throwing it back to Twilight. Jacob Black. The fact that anyone on this earth, the fact that there's one person on this earth that enjoys Jacob Black's existence in the Twilight series is absolutely ridiculous to me. It's absolutely ridiculous. Jacob Black may be my least favorite character ever written in a book. Point blank period. Yeah, definitely. I know he served a purpose, and when his purpose was done being served, he should have walked out of those books. He should have walked out of New Moon, and we should have never seen him again. But that's not what happened. So yeah, Jacob Black, yeah. Why did I even think of this? Jacob Black takes the cake as my least favorite book character that other people seem to like. There are people had teams. People had shirts made that said Team Jacob. Could not be me. Could never be me. Number 6 is a popular author that you can't seem to get into, and that is Stephen King. And honestly, I've watched 2 other of these videos and someone also said Stephen King. So you guys probably heard it all before, but I can't get into Stephen King. Nothing about Stephen King ever makes me want to pick up a book, ever makes me want to, like, even at Barnes & Noble, just open it and see what the first page is looking like. I cannot get into the stories. I read the synopsis of every book and I'm just like, there's nothing that makes me want to spend money on this. There's nothing that makes me want to pick this up from the library. There's nothing that ever makes me want to just like dive any time into reading a Stephen King book. A popular book trope that you're tired of seeing. You know, the girlies and the boys and everyone else is going to be upset about this one, but your girl's tired of love triangles. I'm tired of love triangles. I don't want them. I am done. I'm currently reading Ash Princess. So, and the thing about love triangles, okay, let me go on a little rant. The thing about love triangles is you always know when there's going to be a love triangle. Like you could smell it, you could feel it in your heart. So I'm reading Ash Princess right now, and this is not really a spoiler because I'm on like the 2nd chapter. But it started off with, okay, there's a prince who's on the enemy side. I'm just like, okay, I see they're gonna do kind of an enemies to lovers type thing. I don't really like the prince, so I hope she actually doesn't end up with him. The romance seems unnecessary in this book. That's fine. And then they introduce another boy who's the same age as the main girl, who is from her original city, her original village that was taken over by the current regime that the prince is a part of. And right when they introduced this character who's from her original town, described him the way they did, the way they kind of like emphasized him more than the other supporting characters, the way they kind of emphasized his age, he emphasized their early relationship. I was like, a love triangle. I felt it in my bones. A love triangle was coming in. I don't want it. I did not want it. So I have not picked Ash Princess back up since I felt that. Okay, not only that, but I went on Goodreads, and Goodreads people always ask me the good questions. They asked if there was a love triangle in this book. The author said yes, and I was like, I should have researched before I bought this book. But you know, when you're buying books, you see a pretty cover, and then you end up in this predicament. So all I have to say is I'm tired of love triangles. I'm tired of love triangles. What is it? Like, if you like love triangles, please, I beg, tell me in the comments what you love about love triangles, because it annoys me. I want the story to not be about this push and pull, because I get attached. I have attachment issues. I get attached to the better corner, the better acute angle of the love triangle. I get attached. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not even gonna fret. I get attached. So when the main character starts veering from my attachment, I'm just like, I don't want to read this book anymore. Cut all the romance. Cut it all. That's a lot. But love triangles is definitely a trope I'm tired of seeing. The 7th is a common series that you have no interest in reading, and that, as you guys may or may not know, is A Court of Thorns and Roses series. Not interested in reading. I did read the first book though, so I'm not just going off of like, you know, I hate things that everybody likes. That's not me, but I will not finish reading the series. The first book did not do it for me. There's about like 8 books in the series or something, and they're all like 600 pages. I'm just like, I'm not invested enough. I didn't care enough when I was reading the first book, and then I gave it 4 stars. It did not bring me to where all the Sarah J Maas lovers are. I have no interest in reading that at all. And I don't care what happens to Farah, Tamsel. I don't know. I don't care what happens to any of the characters. I'm not invested. So, popular series that I do not plan on reading or do not care to read is A Throne of Court and Roses. So the second answer I have to a common book series that you have no interest in reading, and I just feel so amazing getting this one off my chest. It feels so liberating. I feel very happy because I've never read Harry Potter. Not one book. Not one book. I've never picked up, opened up, read a Harry Potter book in my life. The saying goes, the book is always better than the movie. What is a popular movie that you like better than the book? I don't watch movies. I just don't. The last movie I watched was Us by Jordan Peele. I'm even saying it like it's a book, Us by Jordan Peele. And then it was Black Panther. And then it was Get Out. Those are the last 3 movies that I've watched. I actually watched Knives Out with my roommates, and that was pretty good. And then like Nollywood movies, but I don't think Nollywood counts because it's just nostalgic for me. The only book series I've ever watched is I've watched the first and second Harry Potter, like I said. So I watched the first movie of Twilight, and I decided not to watch anymore because it was so bad that I knew it was going to ruin what Twilight was to me in my heart and soul. Yeah, I've never. So I don't really have one for this. Yeah, never. I don't think it can exist. I'm gonna do this. A popular book series that you want to see made into a movie, and that is Deal with the Elf King. I just read that book by Elise Kova, and it's just so fairy tale, and I love it. It's so feel good. I love it. So I would love for that to be made into a movie. So that's not unpopular, but I had 0 answers to this. Okay, so that is the end of my unpopular opinions tag. Please let me know your answer to literally all the questions. I really want to know, how do you guys feel about love triangles? That's a big one. I want to know if you like love triangles. Please tell me why. Because I feel like my shelf would open up so much if I allowed for books with love triangles into kind of my repertoire, but I don't, and that's by design. So let me know what you guys think, and if you guys did this tag, please let me know, and talk to y'all later.